9 riverboat captains and their intrepid crews, the long-awaited time is almost upon them. The valiant mariners and their exotic craft will hit the non-briny ripples of the Old Man River tomorrow morning to recreate the 100th anniversary of the historic river shipment of coal between Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. The organizer of the epic journey, Bruce Haig of Lethbridge, says all is in readiness.
There's one boat, I believe, has fallen out again, so I think we're down to, what would it be, 9 boats, I guess, now. But the others are all go. As far as I know, they're all ready.
Haig also suggests, come what may, the weather will not be a deterrent and could add to the heroic cruise.
Oh, there's no such thing as a miserable weekend. It'll be good. If it rains, that means we get a little bit more water. So nothing bad about the weather, no matter what.
Lunchtime will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The site of the cast-off will be just downstream of the 6th Avenue Bridge in Indian Battle Park, across the river from the historical Old Sharon coal mine.
Happy birthday, candidates. 12 o'clock. Lethbridge Flying Club will be presenting progress reports throughout the holiday weekend. The next one due to air somewhere around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Throughout the holiday weekend, we here at Seajock, along with the Lethbridge Flying Club, will be presenting progress reports. And at the moment, Doug Odney is up in the Lethbridge Flying Club Cessna 180. He will be phoning us with a report very shortly. Stay close. Flying Club Cessna 180, he's here with a report right now.
Thanks very much, Ken. Good afternoon, everyone. And, of course, the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment got underway this morning at 8:20 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the launching of the first sternwheel on the Old River. Having some technical problems. Hopefully we can stay on until I can tell you how the rafts are making out. 9 rafts took off. I can only account for 6 so far. The first one has an orange roof, or a canvas orange roof, and we can't get low enough to see who the operators of the sternwheel are. They're about 5 miles east now of the Nolan Bridge, and that's the bridge that goes from Coaldale to Iron Springs. 5 miles east of the Nolan Bridge is the orange sternwheeler, and that's in first place. Second boat has no roof, it's Canadian flag on it, and that's about 5 miles behind the first place sternwheeler. Number 3 is at the Nolan Bridge right now. It looks like a tugboat from the air. It also has a Canadian flag, and it has a white roof. That's all we can identify. We can't get low enough in the aircraft to notice who they are. The 4th one has no roof, also looks like a boat. The 5th one looks like the Noble Lady. I believe the Noble Lady is in 5th place. And the 6th boat that we could account for is the boat being helped by one of the motorboats that are also on the Old Man River, taking care of the sternwheelers as they take that journey 160 miles down the Old Man River and down the South Saskatchewan River, eventually landing in Medicine Hat. The journey is expected to take 3 days, arriving in Medicine Hat Sunday, July 3rd, and hundreds of people are involved, ranging from participants, drivers, cooks, planning staff, of course, and the sternwheel participants themselves. One of the sternwheelers is carrying coal and a coal shovel, which will be presented to Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Grimm in conjunction with Medicine Hat's 100th birthday celebration. Seajock and the Lethbridge Flying Club providing you full coverage of the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment. There we are. We'll be okay. Better take off before we lose radio contact. This is Doug Odney covering the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment from the Lethbridge Flying Club Cessna 180.
Continuing on their journey through to Tabor and onward still. Most of the others apparently are having some difficulty with their sternwheelers. So far, one withdrawal, that is Tadpole 1. So, like I say, at last report, the Voyager and the Gopher Broker have made it through the Nolan Bridge by Coaldale, and they are continuing on their journey toward Tabor right now. And at about 8 o'clock tonight, our own Doug Odney will have another report on the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment from the Lethbridge Flying Club Cessna 180.
The progress of our Galt Sternwheeler reenactment.
You bet I can, Paul.
Well, you go for it. We all want to know what's happening there.
Okay, all right. We've just completed a complete fight down the Old Man River to the Tabor Provincial Park, which of course will be stop number 1 for all the sternwheelers. We could only account for 6 sternwheelers this evening. We heard earlier that one had dropped out, and the first 2 are stopped right now at the Nolan Bridge. They're docked at the Nolan Bridge. That was at about 8:20 this evening. And about 10 miles farther from that are 2 more ships traveling together, and they're on their way towards the Tabor Provincial Park. And as well as that, 2 more ships are ahead of them, and they're about half a mile away from the Tabor Provincial Park, ready to take number 1 stop for their first stop. That'll be this evening in the Tabor Provincial Park. That'll be stop number 1. And then, of course, tomorrow they'll go on to Bow Island, and then Sunday arrive at Medicine Hat. And that's when the sternwheeler that is carrying coal and a coal shovel to be presented to Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Grimm in conjunction with Medicine Hat's 100th birthday celebration will take place. So only 6 sternwheelers accounted for this evening on the Old Man River, and 2 of them just going into the Tabor Provincial Park now, which is stop number 1 for today. And 2 sternwheelers are about 10 miles behind them, and farther back docked at the Nolan Bridge are 2 more sternwheelers, so 6 are accounted for. That's our last cut-in for this afternoon, or for today. You'll be listening tomorrow again, as Ken Cameron will be up at noon, 4 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock, giving you live cut-ins of how the sternwheelers are doing down the Old Man River. By the way, the sternwheeler replicas left this morning at about 8:20 from the high-level bridge, which is the beginning of their journey, 160 miles down the Old Man River and the South Saskatchewan River, and once again eventually landing in Medicine Hat to commemorate their 100th birthday celebration. We're just about to land now at the Lethbridge Airport, and you'll be listening tomorrow for more color reports on the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment commemorating the 100th anniversary of the launching of the first sternwheeler on the Old Man River. This is Doug Godney covering the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment from the Lethbridge Flying Club's Piper Archer with my good pilot, Roy Price.
But so far, so good. The Galt Sternwheeler reenactment is going really quite well. Last night, on our last report, we reported that 2 crafts had just landed in the Taber Provincial Park, which of course was stop number 1. 2 crafts were 3 or 4 miles back from them, and 2 more were docked at Nolan Bridge, and it was unknown whether or not they were going to continue last night. At this point in time, I would suspect that they had probably dropped out of the Sternwheeler reenactment, because after following the river literally from the Nolan Bridge to Bow Island, we only managed to spot 4 rafts. And here's what's happening so far. We have a raft hung up 35 river miles east of the Nolan Bridge. The white and red sternwheeler, we're having a little difficulty identifying exactly which sternwheeler is which. There is a white and red sternwheeler about 10 miles east of the other sternwheeler. We have the sternwheeler with the orange tarp on the top, approximately 5 miles east of that. And in the lead, or at least appearing to be in the lead, we have the white and red sternwheeler with the Canadian flag that is actually very near Bow Island. And we, of course, will keep you up to date on the progress throughout the day. The Galt Sternwheeler reenactment is commemorating the 100th anniversary of the launching of the first sternwheeler on the Old Man River. 9 sternwheeler replicas left Lethbridge yesterday morning at 8 o'clock. From near the high-level bridge in Lethbridge on a 160-mile run down the Old Man River and South Saskatchewan River, eventually landing in Medicine Hat. Last night there were 6 remaining. It looks like there's only 4 remaining today. This journey is expected to take 3 days, arriving in Medicine Hat sometime tomorrow. Now, literally hundreds of people are involved, ranging from the participants to the drivers to the cooks and planning staff, etc. And as a matter of fact, one of the sternwheelers is carrying coal and a shovel to be presented to Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Grimm in conjunction with Medicine Hat's 100th birthday celebration. So like I say throughout the day, we will keep you up to date on exactly what is happening in the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment. This is Ken Cameron in the Lethbridge Flying Club Piper Archer.
You're listening to 1220 CJOC in Lethbridge.
From the Lethbridge Flying Club Piper Archer, we have just recently landed in Medicine Hat, and here is what we have so far. Apparently, we can't account for a couple of the sternwheelers that are supposed to be out there, and I'm sure they are. We just couldn't seem to locate them for one reason or another. Hopefully, we will be able to update you on their progress a little later on tonight, probably at around 9 o'clock. As things are shaping up so far, the sternwheeler with the Alberta flag and orange top, along with the turbo flag on the back, is about 10 river miles west of Bow Island. Closer to Medicine Hat, 3 miles closer, there are 2 small sternwheelers. One of them, red and white one, apparently at this point in time is beached, although obviously not in a whole lot of trouble. The other one is doing quite well. And it seems as though it is indeed a distinct possibility that some of these sternwheelers will reach Medicine Hat sometime tonight, although they are not supposed to reach Medicine Hat until sometime tomorrow. The Galt Sternwheeler reenactment is commemorating the 100th anniversary of the launching of the first sternwheeler on the Old Man River. Yesterday, 10 sternwheeler replicas left Lethbridge at about 8 in the morning from near the high-level bridge on a 160-mile run down the Old Man River and South Saskatchewan River, eventually landing in Medicine Hat. This journey, like I say, is expected to take approximately 3 days, although obviously it appears as though it could be done a little quicker than that. Literally hundreds of people are involved, ranging from the participants to the drivers, the cooks, planning staff, and various other persons as well. Now, one of these sternwheelers is carrying a load of coal and a coal shovel to be presented to Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Grimm in conjunction with Medicine Hat's 100th birthday celebration. Once again, this is Ken Cameron covering the Galt Sternwheeler reenactment from the Lethbridge Flying Club Piper Archer.
Most of the craft, worse for wear, cruised proudly into Medicine Hat between 5 and 8 o'clock last evening. The historic recreations of coal-carrying craft numbered 11 when they left Lethbridge Friday morning, and ended up with about 7. One passenger said that Murphy's Law was the order of the trip, while hazardous rocks had to be negotiated along the route. One brave riverman who identified himself as Elliot Galt of the good ship Northwest Coal and Navigation Company was pardonably proud that he and his crew stuck to the letter of history during the trip. As it was, running out of fuel meant a cold, wet, and miserable night on the boat.
Some of the other boats they took their craft out of the water and they moved them by trailer and put them back in the water near Bow Island, but we've made it all the way by river so far. And we just came through some wicked storms right now. The waves about a foot or a foot and a half high on the river and blowing rain like crazy.
Galt, along with his companions, Charles McGrath and Jerry Potts, found the historical significance of traveling the Belly River, as the old man was called then, was not lost upon them as they made their way toward Medicine Hat.
We'll bet there hasn't been anybody who's made the trip to Medicine Hat on a paddle wheel boat for probably 97 years now, because they only ran the original steamboats for about 3 years.
Bags of coal, the boat's cargo, were delivered to Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Grimm, and that city's Centennial Committee treated the beleaguered river pilots to a well-deserved dinner.